Hi, beautiful souls. Today, I would love to share a little light on living from your heart compared to living from your overly thinking mind. This is something I probably share quite a bit of, but it's so vital that we get this. It's so vital that we make this part of our journey, because where we are moving towards, this is going to be really very useful. Because when somebody's constantly in their mind, they hit bumps. When you're in your mind, you're in your human state. And in your human state, you tend to override your heart's advice, the wisdom from within. And you get all caught up with your ego, because the human is really pretty much a walking ego. But it serves as a bridge. It serves as a bridge because we come here to experience the physicality of having these physical bodies and having to re-remember everything that we are, because, you know, in other planetary systems, we know everything that we are. We're aware of it all. And you come here and you literally go through veils of amnesia, and then you have to remember everything again. And in that remembering, some people wake up, some people, people are always awakening to different levels and deeper and higher and wider and broader and everything else. Some people, it takes a long, long time for them to awaken. It takes them thousands of years, depending on how deep they are entrenched in their stuff. And this is why it's so important to surround yourself with people that are on the same path, people that are have broad minds. You want to be around people with a broad mind and open hearts, because people with closed minds and limiting views and closed hearts are not going to help you on your journey. And there's not a lot that you can really do to help them, because if you don't take care of you, how are you going to be able to move forwards and help others? And this is the point, you know, we have to be responsible for our creations and how we use our energy. I mean, sure, you can plant seeds, but if somebody's not ready, they're not going to be able to see the seed for what it is. Of course, you know, they might pick it up many years later, but you have a beautiful heart. And being heart coherent means that your heart is in equilibrium with your body vehicle. So it means that you feel this nice calm resonance, that if something triggers you, you're able to stabilize and come back into balance quite quickly, able to self-regulate your nervous system quite easily, that you're flexible, that you're dexterous and you're agile within your heart and in your heart-centeredness, that you have love, and that you practice stretching, because you must stretch your fields. Practice this because you become good at it when you practice. This has been part of my practice lately, is to stand in this wheat field and to spread my heart fields out as wide as I possibly can go. And literally you can feel them. You can feel that you become literally space. So whilst I might still be in this physical body, I lose that feeling of necessarily that physical body, and I become the space, and I become all. I become one with all. But of course I do remember, because I have this physical body as well. But the more you practice this, the more open you allow yourself to be, more loving and more consistent you are, in the way that when you have something come up for your attention, whether it's some, you know, something, whatever it might be, yeah, a decision that you need to make, anything, yeah, hand on your heart, breathe with your heart, become yourself nice and relaxed, relax. You might want to place your hand on your wrist as well, one hand on your heart. So you place one hand on your heart and then place one hand on your wrist, either side of this central bit, and just put a little bit of pressure there. It's a little qigong exercise for just calming and regulating the nervous system. So you can do the two together and just breathe, relax. And then just ask, going within, asking your heart, how might I navigate this? What does my heart have to say about this? Does my heart feel this? You see, when we go into our heads and we start thinking things through and overthinking, we only make matters worse. And then what happens is our universe brings up situations for us to then have to resolve and navigate and deal with to try to bring us back to our hearts. So when we have challenges, it's opportunities to bring us back to our heart, because when we're in our thinking mind, going, oh, this, I know that this is this, and I must think this through, and I must be clever and think this through, we make situations for ourselves. That's not saying that you're not using intelligence, because the heart is incredibly intelligent. The heart has a very high intelligence, but it's about being honest with the person that you are, being authentic and sovereign about the being that you are. So when you're placing your hand on your heart, and you're going within, you see with greater clarity. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Sure, you can still use your mind for other things, but the mind is very, very human, and it keeps you stuck in this human construct. And the constructs of the old ways of being are slipping and breaking down. And nobody wants to remain in those constructs, because it will be a very, very bumpy ride. It's already becoming quite bumpy on this planet. And so when we move into our hearts and we stretch our fields, we keep practicing heart coherence, practicing being flexible in the way that we experience our world. Being flexible as in moving beyond boundaries and limitations. Limitations and boundaries, they're thoughts that you keep on thinking. And the more you think them, the more you make them your beliefs. And the more you make them your beliefs, the more you place yourself in cages. And when you place yourself in a cage, then it's much harder to get out. And then when you surround yourself with other people that have been perpetuating the same old thoughts, creating their own belief structures and systems, then you also have that to navigate too. So you want to just let go all of that, let go of it all, because limitations, they don't help or serve anything. I mean, for instance, hospital workers and doctors and, anybody that knows anything about cancer in a traditional structure, as in hospitals, they'll say that, there are limitations, that if somebody has this, whatever, that's it, that they can't possibly get well. Anybody that, there's so many limitations in life. Put it this way, people will say, oh, if you have this type of cancer and it's at this stage, then you're going to die because there's no getting better. Or if you have this kind of thing going on, yeah, this is not going to work out for you because you need to be this. Or if you want to get this job in as a vet, well, you need to have a maths GCSE because otherwise you can't become a vet. There's so many limitations in life, and people forget that actually there's also an enormous amounts of miracles. But miracles aren't really miracles. What miracles are is actually a natural state of your beingness, when you're actually living from higher levels. And I don't mean that like living in a lower level means that one person is better than the other, because it does take discipline to change your thought patterns and to come into your heart from when you've been, especially when you've been perpetuating heavy thoughts and thinking and overthinking for numerous amounts of years. So it does take discipline. So we must be compassionate with ourselves and compassionate with others. But on this earth, where things are changing fast, everything is about frequency and vibration. And if you want to move to a more peaceful, loving, relaxing, joyful way of living, then you have to be committed to expand your heart, because that's really one of the main aspects that you have to consider and you have to get right, because you will not enter higher frequencies if you're still very much engaged with your ego self, which is your human self. You want to move beyond that to be and reside as your divine human, so that you can integrate as much light as possible, that you can live as light, and that you can play with different frequency ways of being, higher frequency ways of being. Thoughts don't serve. Overthinking does not serve. If you have a matter that needs your attention, go to the heart. The heart is much wiser. The heart is always much wiser. Listen to how you feel. That is your indicator of what is right and what is wrong. If something feels right, do it. If something feels wrong, don't do it. It's very, very simple. And yet humans continually override this very wise navigation system because they think they know it all, because they are so committed to their egos. So my invitation today is just to come home to your heart. Place your hand there. Breathe with your heart. Go out somewhere in nature and just imagine that, having your hand on your heart, and then just imagine with your, I use my hands, use your hands, and just imagine that you're opening up, literally you're opening up a curtain and allowing this light to shine out from your heart center. And it's this beautiful beam of platinum light. And there's love there. And you might want to imagine things that you do love whilst you're doing this, so that you can get into this feeling of feeling really good as you're doing it. Like imagine all of the beautiful bird song and beautiful flowers and clear waterways and a healthy, thriving planet and joyful children smiling and laughing, playing in meadows. Just imagine something like this, because as you're doing that, you're also helping to create the new earth, which is already there. New earth already exists. It's very much there. This is where we're moving towards. This is what Ascension is about. It's moving from your head to your heart. That's really the main point of Ascension, moving from your head to your heart. Living from your heart, being authentic, because you're authentic when you're living from your heart. You're less authentic when you're thinking things through. I mean, you look at all of the manipulation and the distortion on the world stage with these different corrupt governments of the world. Pretty much every single government of the world seems to be corrupt. When you look at it, when you look at the way that they're not acting from their hearts, because if they were acting from their hearts, this would not be what's going on. So the more people that come from their hearts, it affects the collective, and it helps the collective to come back into their hearts, to come back to their essence, so that they can be like, oh yes, gosh, this is what I was missing out on. I forgot who I was. So we want people to re-remember who they are. We want people to remember the truth of that they are. Keep coming home to that you are. Keep consulting your heart's wisdom, going within, finding the wisdom there within, in the heart. Asking your heart every single question that comes up. How do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? How do I feel? Really feel it in your heart. And if suddenly something comes up to your head to try and figure it out, stop, cancel, clear, delete that. We're consulting the heart right now, because I want to hear what the heart has to say about this. What do you have to say about this, heart? And then keep doing this until it becomes second nature or first nature, until it becomes so consistent and that it's your first port of call, that you are truly open with a loving, open heart and able to change and assist the frequencies here on this earth. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Zaza. I bless you all, and I wish you great joy on your paths. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Thank you.